Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Training Industry Learning Tech Showcase, Emerging Technologies, sponsored by Camtasia, CommLab India, DID, ELB Learning, and Imparta. I'm Emma, a marketing associate here at Training Industry, and I'm thrilled to have you with us here today. Before we get started, I would like to go over a few housekeeping items to help you get the most out of today's session and interact with our speaker. Throughout today's event, please feel free to use the chat for comments and submit your questions in the Q&A panel. All questions will be addressed during the event or at the end of the session during our Q&A portion. Once the session ends, a brief survey will pop open in your browser, so please take a moment to share your feedback on today's session and speaker. And as always, all of our sessions are being recorded and archived on trainingindustry.com. You will receive a follow-up email from us at the end of the day with a link to the on-demand recording. If this is your first Training Industry event, we'd like to welcome you. Training Industry exists to make connections among learning and development professionals. We offer tons of resources to support your role in L&D through live events like today's showcase, as well as through articles on our website, our magazine, conferences, research reports, our podcast, and more. We'd also love to hear about what you've learned from today's session on social media, so please follow us on your favorite platforms so we can continue the conversation there. And now, without any further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce you to our speaker from CommLab India, Rajesh. He is the Director of Marketing and AI Innovation. It's great to have you here, Rajesh.
Thank you, Emma. Emma, am I able to allow the screen? It shows only one.
Go for it. Take it over.
It shows like only one presenter can share at a time.
Okay, let me stop mine, and then there you
go. Sound option is disabled.
Try now.
Yeah.
Better? Okay.
Yes. Let me know if you are able to see my screen.
It looks great.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to the Training Industry Learning Tech Showcase. Today, we are tackling one of the biggest challenges in enterprise L&D right now. How do you actually scale global compliance training and upskill a technical sales workforce without blowing up your timelines, your budget, or your team's capacity? Over the next 30 minutes, I will show you exactly how AI is changing that equation, not with hype, but with a real framework, and you can take back and use this week. Okay. But first, let me paint you a picture of the scale challenge we are dealing with. This is again a scenario that many of you in this room will recognize immediately. Okay, let me briefly set the context on who we are and the value we bring. At CommLab India, our focus is very simple, like maximizing learning impact while optimizing cost, speed, and scale. On the services front, we operate across the full spectrum of digital learning solutions, from custom e-learning and video creation to translations and L&D staff augmentation. So whether it's building from scratch or scaling existing programs, we support end-to-end execution. What truly differentiates us are our three core strengths. First is design and development at scale and speed. We are built to handle high volume rollouts without compromising quality. Second, customer value obsession. Our engagement model is structured to consistently deliver measurable ROI. And third, thought leadership and customer education. We don't just execute, we actively help customers evolve their L&D strategy. And this positioning is validated by multiple industry recognitions you see here at the bottom, particularly in AI-enabled learning, rapid e-learning, and blended solutions. In essence, we are not just a vendor, we operate as a strategic partner, helping organizations scale learning transformation efficient. Now come to the scale problem. Imagine this, 30,000 global employees, over 100,000 hours of training demand, 10 or more compliance courses that need updating every single year, and more than 60% of the employees actively skipping anything that is not mandatory. The last number is the one that should concern every L&D leader in this room, because it tells us the problem is not just scale, it's relevance, timing, and experience. The real question here is not how do we push more training content out. The real question is how do we get the right training to the right people at the right moment and make it stick. That question is what drove us to rethink our entire approach, and it starts with something we call course level adaptive learning. Let me show you what that looks in practice. Course level adaptive learning, actually adaptive learning sounds complex, but at the course level, it's actually a very practical idea. It's actually a very, instead of putting every learner through the same content at the same pace, the course evaluates what the learner already knows and adapts the path in real time. Think about a compliance update. Like a 15-year veteran doesn't need the same module as someone in their first year. With adaptive learning, the experienced employee gets a 5-minute refresh, whereas the new employee gets the full 25-minute module. Same compliance coverage, dramatically different time investment. This approach has delivered measurable gains in completion rates, knowledge retention, and application on the job, especially when the content is scenario-based rather than information-heavy. Let me play the demo.
Still stuck in one-size-fits-all training? There's a better way. It's time for something smarter, adaptive learning, where the training adjusts to you. Let's look at a cybersecurity awareness sample designed with adaptive learning in mind. Here's how it works. First, you'll watch a quick intro video to set the stage. Then, you'll dive into a 15-question pretest covering 5 key areas: social engineering, phishing, malware, passwords, and internet and email use. Here's where it gets interesting. Ace the pretest. You skip straight to the key takeaways, no need to sit through content you already know. Struggled in certain areas? No worries. The course automatically directs you to only the topics where you need improvement. Once you've completed the assigned topics, you'll take a final challenge, 5 questions per topic you covered. Score 80% or higher, and you're done. If not, you'll get another shot at mastering those tricky areas. The result? No wasted time. No unnecessary repetition. Just focused learning that helps you truly master the content. Ready to upgrade your training with adaptive learning? We're here to help. Contact us now.
So now let's look at one of the most challenging training categories to scale globally, which is nothing but technical training for sales. It's a distributed workforce. When we talk about technical training for a global workforce, we are covering a lot of ground, right? Product knowledge, role-based task mastery, SOPs, and safety protocols, troubleshooting workflows, software tools and systems. Each of these has a different update cycle, a different subject matter expert, and a different learner persona. A manufacturing technician in Germany has a different context than a field service engineer in Singapore, even if they are running the same equipment. Multiply that across 12 countries, 5 product lines, and quarterly update cycles, and you start to see why traditional L&D approaches collapse under the weight of technical training at a global scale. The good news is that this complexity is exactly where a structured operating model makes the biggest difference. Let me show you how we manage this with a repeatable, scalable learning cycle. Our learning cycle has 4 stages: review, learning, application, and adaptation. These are not sequential steps, they are a continuous loop. Training content is not static, it evolves as the business evolves. On the right side, you can see the SME operating model. This is the key. The biggest bottleneck in technical training development is almost always the subject matter expert. SMEs are your most time constrained resource, and traditional development process asks too much of them. Our model caps SME involvement at a maximum of 5 touch points throughout the entire development process. They give us raw content and broad learning outcomes in the kickoff meeting. They approve the chunk content and learning objectives. They review the storyboard. They review the course without audio, and they sign off on the final version. Everything else, instruction design, script writing, development, audio integration, or QA, that's all our team. The SME validates, we execute. Let me show you what this look like in practice with a real client example. So here is a real engagement. A client in the industrial cleaning solution space needed to train their customers on how to properly use a specialized membrane cleaning system for dairy processing facilities. We developed a full blended program, 5 e-learning modules covering each system component and the cleaning process, supporting VILT materials such as PowerPoint, facilitator guide, participant guide for the hands-on practical sessions. We hosted the VILT sessions ourselves, managing the interactive moments and technical troubleshooting in real time. And we created job aids, downloadable resources, and interactive PDFs for on-the-job references. This is the kind of training that cannot be delivered through a generic LMS module. It requires scenario fidelity, practical application, and just-in-time support. The blended approach gave us all 3. Now, before I move into our AI framework, I want to take a pulse of this room. I have a poll question just for you. Yeah. What's the biggest barrier to scaling L&D in your organization? I want to hear from you. Yeah, I think already started. Yeah. So most of them right now, built for custom, not for scale is at the top. Yeah, okay. The second option is also racing towards to take the first place. Okay. Third one.
I'll leave it open for a few more seconds.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to close it up now. There are the results.
Yes. Yeah, I think highest is built for custom, not for scale. And second is designing, bottlenecks, team availability. Of course, last 2 options are almost same. So for the first option, like if the team who are selected, like chosen the built for custom and not for scale, this is the most common L&D design trap. Teams build bespoke, handcrafted solutions for every request, which produces excellent individual modules, but creates a pipeline that can never keep up with demand. The fix is not lower quality. It's to build reusable frameworks, templates, and component libraries so that quality can be replicated quickly. That's exactly what our Rapid AI framework is designed to do, which I'll cover in the coming slides. For the second option, I think design bottlenecks team availability. Yeah, the capacity is the silent killer of L&D strategy. You have the vision, you don't have the headcount. And every time something urgent comes in, the roadmap slips. The answer here is staffing model that scales elastically, skilled specialists who plug into your workflow and scale up when demand peaks, down when it doesn't. So we'll talk about our team operating system model in a few minutes. This is exactly that. And third and fourth, localization as well as AI used as a tool. So first, the localization and global rollout. This one I hear constantly from global L&D leaders. You finalize the English version and then wait for 3 to 4 months for translations. By the time the French and German modules are ready, the English content has already been updated. So AI-powered translation platforms such as SmartCat are fundamentally changing this text and audio video translation simultaneously rather than sequentially. We are seeing rollout timelines drop from months to days. And the last, this is where most organizations are right now. They have adopted AI tools in pockets. Someone on the team uses ChatGPT for scripts, someone else uses Midjourney for visuals, but there is no connected workflow, no governance, and no consistency, right? So that's the difference between using AI as a point solution versus embedding it into your operating model as a system. That shift is exactly what the ComLab Rapid AI framework is built for. So what you have just voted is exactly the problem of our next section addresses. Let me introduce you to the framework we built to tackle all four of these simultaneously. So everything I have described so far, the scale challenge, the SME bottleneck, the localization lag, and the AI point tool problem, all of it has a structural answer. We call it as a ComLab India Rapid AI framework. Rapid stands for Responsible AI Powered Instructional Design. It's not a tool or it's not a technology stack. It's an operating model, a connected, governed way of working that puts AI in a service of great instructional design rather than replacing it. Let me break down exactly what each component means and how it works together in practice. This framework has 6 stages. So ComLab India Rapid AI is our model for using Gen AI in instructional design without using it blindly. The core principle is straightforward. AI accelerates execution, but humans remain accountable for instructional thinking, quality, and learning impact. The acronym captures 7 disciplines. We begin by reframing the role of AI. AI is not just a content generator. It can act as a thinking partner, accelerator, critic, and auditor. Then we anchor in human judgment. Humans still own the most important decisions, what matters in the SME content, what learners must do differently, and how learning should be assessed, and what quality looks like. Next, we prompt with purpose and introduce challenge. That means we do not use AI randomly, we use it deliberately, and we also ask it to critique, question, and pressure test the design instead of only helping us draft faster. We also adapt to maturity, like because junior or mid-level or senior instruction designers should not use AI in exactly the same way. And we institutionalize governance through policies, checkpoints, and review criteria. At the center of the framework is design through stages. AI and humans play different roles across 5 stages. Decoding SME content, defining objectives and outcomes, shaping learning flow, and designing the treatment, and finally reviewing and auditing the solution. So the operating model is simple. AI accelerates, humans own. AI challenges, and humans decide. That is what makes rapid AI different. It is not AI-led design. It is human-led, AI-accelerated design. The key to make all of this work is clarity about what AI does and what humans own. So let me show you the operating model, which is again nothing but AI accelerates and humans own. This is the most important slide in our framework because it answers the question I know many of you are thinking. Where does AI fit and what does my team still do? We have mapped the AI tool landscape across 6 functional areas of the development workflow, like plan and write. Tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, and Jasper handle first draft content generation, learning objectives writing, and scenario scripting. Your instructional designers review, refine, and apply learning science judgment to every output. And second is design and build. Tools such as Midjourney, Canva, DALI, Synthesia, Video, Beyond Go, which can handle visual and video production at a fraction of traditional timelines and cost. Your visual designers direct and quality control. And third is sound and narrate. The top tools like 11 Labs, Murph.ai, and Wellsaid Labs generate professional quality narration in multiple accents and languages. Your audio producers supervise and curate. And the fourth one is translate and localize. Tools such as SmartCat, DeepL, and Amazon Translate handle multilingual output simultaneously. Your localization managers govern terminology consistency and cultural accuracy. And the fifth is reinforce. Tools such as FuelStream, 7Taps, and Quizeco handle spaced repetition and micro-learning reinforcement. Your learning architects design the spacing and sequencing strategy. And the sixth, tools such as Tango, Scribe, and Fireflies handle process capture, transcription, and documentation. Your instructional designers convert these into structured learning assets. Notice what's consistent across every category. AI accelerates execution, whereas humans own decisions. The learning design judgment, the quality standard, the learner experience, these stay with your team. Now let's talk about how the content actually reaches learners, the delivery modalities that work. We have clustered effective delivery modalities around 3 learner challenges that research consistently identifies. Adaptive learning addresses the one-size-fits-all problem. At its simplest, it means the learning path adjusts based on what the learner already knows. This is especially powerful for compliance and technical training, where baseline knowledge varies enormously across global workforce. The second is forgetting curve is real. The research shows learners forget up to 70% of new information within 24 hours without reinforcement. Spaced repetition tools deliver targeted micro reinforcement at scientifically timed intervals, rebuilding memory pathways before they decay. For compliance training, where knowledge must be retained, not just demonstrated at completion, this is essential. Third is gamification, which is again not about making learning fun for its own sake. It's about creating a psychological conditions, challenge, progress, recognition, competition that drive voluntary engagement. This is the antidote to the 60% skipping rate, which we saw on the slide 3. The organizations that are winning at global training scale are not picking one of these. They are combining all 3 in the coherent delivery strategy. Let me ground all of this in a real case study. This client is a leading provider of technology platforms and financial software solutions. So their workforce needed to be understand AI not as end users of consumer tools, but as professionals whose roles are being shaped by AI. We developed a quiz board game plus 3 e-learning courses of 45 minutes of total learning content. The development timeline was 2 weeks with a team of 3 to 4 people. We used Articulate Storyline with AI-generated voiceover throughout. The quiz board game was specifically designed to create social learning moments, something a digital module alone cannot replicate. Teams play together, debate answers, and learn from each other's reasoning. The AI knowledge sticks because it's contested and discussed, not just consumed. Using AI voiceover cut the narration production timeline from 3 weeks to 3 days. The client could not tell the difference from human narration on quality, but the cost and timeline savings were transformational. So how do you actually adopt this model in your organization? We have defined and identified 3 distinct paths depending on where you are today. 3 ways of adopting ComLab India Rapid AI model. Not every organization is in the same place on the AI adoption journey, and not every team needs the same kind of support. We have designed 3 distinct engagement models to meet you where you are. First one is practitioner method, team operating system, and the client advisory framework. Let me take you through each one quickly. The practitioner method is our fully managed service model. We handle end-to-end development from brief to deployment. You don't need to build internal AI capability. You don't need to manage a tool stack. You don't need to retrain your team. We bring templates, SOPs, and checklists that are already calibrated for AI accelerated development. Your SMEs validate, and we do everything else. Curriculum development, translation into 35 plus languages, LMS support, customer portal access, technology tools, all managed by our team. This works best for organizations that have a high volume of training demand, limited internal capacity, and a need for rapid, consistent, high quality output across multiple modalities and languages. The second is team operating system, which is again our staff augmentation model. Skilled e-learning professionals who plug directly into your existing workflows, tools, and processes. Zero learning curve. Our specialists come familiar with different tools like Storyline, Rise, Beyond, and translation stacks from day one. There's no onboarding overhead, no tool licensing negotiation, no ramp-up time. We provide learning architects, instructional designers, program managers, LMS support, and data analytics specialists, and the full team structure without the permanent headcount commitment. And third, which is very important, where client advisory framework. Here, the ComLab India, in partnership with Lancaster University, one of the UK's leading research institution, has launched a multi-phase research initiative called worklearning.ai. This is independent academic research co-led by Dr. R.K. Prasad, our CEO and co-founder, with Dr. Brett, senior lecturer at Lancaster University. Again, it's not a vendor white paper or a trend forecast. It's a rigorous evidence-based study examining what AI is actually doing inside enterprise learning systems right now, not what it might to do in the future. So the right side of this slide shows the 6-phase model that drives every client advisory management we run, and it's directly informed by that research methodology. The interim report available for download via the link shared by my colleague in the chat. You can feel free to download it, and makes a critical distinction. It separates organizations that are merely piloting AI from those that are building the foundational systems to scale it meaningfully. Most organizations are in the pilot stage. The ones pulling ahead are building governed, structured, scalable AI-enabled learning ecosystems. And the research maps exactly what that looks like. So ComLab, which the client advisory framework, is the ComLab India's application of these research insights into real enterprise L&D challenges. It's how we help organizations move from isolated AI experiment to a governed strategy that delivers consistent, measurable results at scale. So if you are serious about understanding where AI in L&D actually stands today, it's not the hype, the reality. Download the interim report. It will change how you think about your next 12 months of L&D plan. Let's wrap up today's session. If you need fast, high quality training solutions, our rapid custom e-learning team is ready to help create impactful learning experiences tailored to your needs. So you can scan the code, QR code to explore our solutions, case studies, demos, and special offers. Yeah. Is there, well, time is there, Emma? Can we address the questions? I think.
We're out of time, Rajesh. We don't have any questions left in the chat, but we are out of time. So thank you so much for this presentation you're getting. I see lots of claps coming through in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time and great. Don't forget, actually, I will get back to you with all the responses for your valuable questions. Thank you. We look forward to partnering with you on your learning journey.
Okay, great. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for this session. We do have one more session left in this Learning Tech Showcase. We'll be joined by Camtasia for their session. They're going to be showing us how to turn screenshots into training videos without recording your screen. So if you'd like to join that session, take this 15 minutes for yourself, and then we'll see you back in the Zoom lobby for our last session. Thanks, everybody. Bye.